It is 4 o'clock. I would like to call the Monday, September 12th, 2022 Historic District Commission meeting to order. At this time, would you please do a roll call for attendance?
Commissioner Drzdowski?
Here.
Commissioner Newman?
Here.
Commissioner Reed?
Here.
Commissioner Selly will be excused for today. Commissioner Simpson?
Here.
Commissioner Davis?
Here.
That concludes.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Any additions or deletions to the agenda?
No additions or deletions.
It has been noted that the meeting minutes from June 13th, 2022 are not in this packet, but they will be in next month's.
Yes.
So we'll move past that. Any correspondence?
No correspondence.
Old business?
No old business.
Moving right along. 7A, new business, H12 2022. This is for the certificate of appropriateness to demolish and rebuild the retaining wall surrounding the building of City Hall. Travis, could we please get a staff report on this, please?
Yep, so as mentioned, this is for the replacement of the City Hall retaining wall. The replacement will replace the entirety of the wall that surrounds the building right now on 3 of the 4 sides. The wall is intended to be an in-kind replacement, attempting to match the aesthetic of what you see there right now with that historic S pattern or S-shaped pattern that the wall has. The wall will similarly be constructed of a concrete material. The current wall is constructed of a concrete and structural support brick. The proposed new wall would be a reinforced concrete with drainage stone. The proposed new wall will also incorporate the existing capstones with the new wall. The only visual difference intended with the new wall is that it'll be placed in segments, and that's with the intent of making it easier and more efficient to maintain in the future. Again, the original capstones are to be preserved and incorporated with the proposed new wall. Staff would recommend approval of this item with the condition that any archaeological resources discovered during the process of the project be preserved and reported. I think the applicant is here to speak about the project.
Perfect.
Hi, Katie Norton, Facilities Manager for the City of Battle Creek. I'm just here to answer any questions you may have. I believe you've gotten all of the documentation that I provided in your packet. So I'm curious if you have any questions and thoughts on the matter of the wall.
Excellent. Well, thank you for coming. Any other public comment on this? Okay. Do we have any commissioner comments?
Who is that guy?
That would be nice to know, wouldn't it? There's an old historic photo that I located that, contained a nice up-close picture of the wall shape. Yeah. So, yeah.
Cool.
Excellent. Well, seeing no other comments, I will entertain a motion.
Move to approve the petition for a certificate of appropriateness to demolish and rebuild the retaining wall surrounding the building of City Hall. The wall will be replaced in kind with historic S-shape for property located at 10 North Division Street.
Support.
Any further discussion? With that, we'll have a roll call vote, please.
Commissioner Drzdowski?
Yes.
Commissioner Newman?
Yes.
Commissioner Reed?
Yes.
Commissioner Simpson?
Yes.
And Commissioner Davis?
Yes.
That motion carries. Thank you very much. For the next 2 items, I am going to recuse myself because I am the applicant. So I'm going to send it over to the vice chair here and then head down.
All right, Cody. All right. I'll see if I can fill your shoes appropriately.
The next item for business is H 1322 at 117 West Michigan Avenue, Restore 269. At 117 West Michigan Avenue, petition for certificate of appropriateness to build a new sign to be added to the tenant space, which will match the design elements of the sign at 115 West Michigan Avenue for the property located at 117 Michigan Avenue. Does the staff have a report?
Yep, so this, again, is for the property at 117 West Michigan Avenue. The applicant is Mr. Cody Newman. He is the sole owner of the Riverfront Condominiums Association and the sole member of the Board of Directors. Mr. Newman is applying to place a blade sign at the front entrance of the building, anchored into the masonry facade. The blade sign is similar to a number of these items that the commission's seen here over the past year. The proposed sign would consist of a pair of two-sided panels, with each panel measuring 2 inches or 2 feet wide by 1.25 feet in height. The panels would be set one on top of the other and framed by a 3/4 inch by 3/4 inch black steel frame around the perimeter. The panels will be constructed out of a PVC material with a Restore 269 logo printed on the top panel and a Driven Design Studio logo on the bottom panel. The sign will be anchored to the wall by a 2 inch by 2 inch black steel tube welded to a 3/8 inch steel plate with a 3/4 inch lag bolt securing the sign structure into the masonry facade. The panels and the frame will be attached to the connecting steel tube by black chains. The proposed sign meets all the provisions of the sign ordinance, and the impact upon the resource is expected to be minimal. And as such, staff recommends approval of this item, and the applicant is here in front of you to speak about this item today.
Thank you very much. Honestly, don't have much more to add outside of the staff report. We're matching the sign that's on 115 West Michigan Avenue. This is just the other suite on there. There were plans years ago to put a sign up there. There were no tenants at the time, so it had just kind of sat, and we've occupied it for a couple of years now and decided we should pursue putting a sign up. So happy to answer any questions.
Are there any questions from the board?
I'm good.
We're all good. Looking for a motion for H 1322.
I move to approve the petition for a certificate of appropriateness to build a new sign to be added to the tenant space, which will match the design elements of the sign at 115 West Michigan for the property located at 117 West Michigan Avenue.
Support. It's been moved in support. Could we get a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Drzdowski,
Yes.
Commissioner Newman,
Recuse
sorry.
myself. Yeah.
Commissioner Reed,
Yes.
Commissioner Simpson,
Yes.
Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
That
H
concludes. Thank you.
1322 has been approved.
Thank you.
All right, it's time for item C, H 1422, at 117 West Michigan Avenue, 11 Carlisle Street, Restore 269 at 117 West Michigan Avenue is requesting a petition for certificate of appropriateness to replace the existing fence on the rear side of the property. In addition, a few screening fences with automatic entry will be provided at the entry at 11 Carlisle Street for the property located at 11 Carlisle Street. Does staff have a report?
Yep, so this is the same property as the blade sign that you just approved. This item was addressed 117 West Michigan Avenue and 11 Carlisle Street, as the proposed location for the fencing here is actually going to be behind the building. And so it just seemed more appropriate just to include both addresses. So again, this is a part of the Riverfront Condominiums Association, and that's why you see multiple addresses there. Mr. Newman, again, is the sole owner and member of the board. You remember likely Mr. Newman received approval from this commission back in the spring for the placement of a new garage on this site, so in that area behind his building at 117 West Michigan. Due to some private easement issues, the location of that building had to be moved. And so Mr. Newman submitted an addendum to his site plan, which was then approved then for the relocation of that garage. Now, that garage did not come back to the Historic District Commission, as Mr. Newman did not propose any alteration to the materials used or the size of the garage. It was simply changing the location of it to ensure that there was no conflict with any private access easements that existed on the property. When that location was moved, that necessitated that the property applied then to place a fence along the access that would have been closed off by the garage. So that's that access that you see between the buildings at 15 Carlisle Street at 103 West Michigan. That's the proposed location for the 6-foot tall privacy fence. That's the subject of this application. That fence would be constructed of a PVC material. It would be a dark bronze color. And then along Carlisle Street at the entrance to the parking area is where the applicant is applying for a 4-foot tall metal framed fence with at least 50% transparency. And the reason for the height dropping to 4 feet and the 50% transparency is to comply with the provisions of the fence ordinance for a front yard fence. And so that's why you see the differences there in those fences. This fence also is proposed to have that dark bronze coloring. Staff recommends approval of this item as it would not impact a historic resource on the site. And it also meets all of the provisions of the fence ordinance. The only condition to the approval would again be if any archaeological resources are discovered during the course of the project, that those resources be preserved and reported to the city. Other than that, I will let you talk to the applicant about the project.
Cody, you have something to say?
Just a few quick notes. The privacy fence, the 6-foot tall fence, that is replacing the chain link fence that had been there for about 20 years or so. We took that down and we were going to put the garage in that location. As noted, we had to relocate the garage, so when we relocated on the property, the fence is still gone, so we're just putting that back up. We wanted to put up something nicer than just a chain link fence. That was kind of a temporary thing, I think, years ago that became permanent over time. So that's it for the side there, and then the front, again, the security gate, as noted, we've just kind of followed the ordinance and just putting up a fence on that portion. So happy to answer any questions.
What easement made you have to change your plans?
Long story.
Okay, good. We'll have a beer. Pardon me. Any questions from the board? No?
I move to approve the certificate of appropriateness for the 2 proposed new fences for 117 West Michigan Avenue and 11 Carlisle Street, with the condition that should any archaeological or historically significant material be discovered during the course of construction, such material shall be preserved by the applicant and reported to the City of Battle Creek.
Support.
It's been moved and supported. Can we get a roll call vote, please?
Commissioner Drzdowski,
Yes.
Commissioner Reed,
Yes.
Commissioner Simpson,
Yes.
and Commissioner Davis.
Yes.
That concludes.
Thank you.
Tag, you're it.
I will tap back in here. Thank you all. Moving on to new business 7D, the 2022 second quarter minor class of work report. I will hand that over to Travis, please.
So as the city attorney brought to staff's attention earlier this year, there's a requirement, I believe in the ordinance establishing the Historic District Commission, that staff bring a reporting on a quarterly basis to the commission of items that were approved as minor classes of work by staff. What you've got before you today is the 3 items that have been approved during the second quarter of the year. And I see a typo in the report. I see I have 2022 quarter 1 administrative approvals in the body of that report. That is quarter 2. The 3 items were 58 East Michigan Avenue and 62 East Michigan Avenue. Those were essentially the same item. Both were applications to replace an existing membranous-style flat roofing system with a similar material that would not result in a change in appearance. And then you have 62 East Michigan Avenue, which also applied to relocate an air conditioning condenser unit that was located on the garage roof at the back of the building to a location behind a fence of the new deck that's being installed, and that will not be visible from the parking lot or the road or the ground. And that relocation was determined that it would not destroy any historical features of the building. Those are the 3 items that have been approved during the second quarter of the year. And again, those are all in accordance with the items that the resolution establishing minor classes of work allows for. You've got that resolution sitting in front of you with your packet today. If anyone has any questions about those items, feel free to ask.
Any commissioner questions or comments? Okay. We don't have to vote on that at all, do we? Or do we, I guess? Okay.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think you're just essentially receiving the report today, so.
Excellent. Well, if there's nothing further there, we will move on to number 8. Any comments by the public? Going once, twice, all right. Any comments by commission members or staff? We'll start with staff.
No comments.
All right, commissioner comments?
Welcome.
Thank you.
Saying that, we are adjourned. Thank you.